Hey there, I'm back with another round of quick, relatively simple projects. As with the last one, I'm hoping this inspires you to complete some of your own small, lingering projects to finally be done with them. First off, I wanted to repair my record player. This is a Bang & Olufsen Baogram 1800 that my mom used to have when she was younger. And since I've had it, it has, quote, spent more time broken than working, to use my friend's words. Over the years, I've had to replace the cartridge, change the belt, and adjust the speed. Right now, it seems to be running a little slow, based on the music sounding a bit low-pitched. For this model, you can adjust the speed by turning a couple of internal potentiometers. To get the speed right, you could try playing a record and making the changes by ear, but you would probably run the risk of damaging something in the process. Instead, I'm using a stroboscope disc to determine if we are running fast or slow. The markings on the paper are spaced such that when the player is spinning at 33 revolutions per minute and a 60 Hz light source, such as an incandescent light bulb, is shining on it, the marks appear stationary. By turning the potentiometer ever so slightly, you can dial in the speed. I used the high-speed capture mode on my camera to help me with this too. It didn't take long for me to get it sounding just perfect. The next project I tackled was making a couple of cable ties made from laser-cut leather. I've seen Cam Shand do this before, and I thought it would look very nice for wrapping some of the cables for my kitchen appliances. Just like any laser cutting project I've done, I made the design in Inkscape and exported it into a DXF format. For some of them I kept it just simple with an outline, but I thought it might be nice to put some interesting patterns in there as well. I did end up scorching a couple because I messed up a setting and it performed 2 passes on the etching. The later attempts look a lot better. I continue to be amazed by how good leather projects end up looking. The next project I wanted to complete was repairing my moka pot handle. This originally had a black plastic handle, but my friend accidentally broke it at a dinner party that I was hosting once. After that, I made a replacement one from a piece of off-cut black walnut that I had. That lasted for a while, but recently the wooden tab that slotted into the metal part broke off. I decided I would take the same wooden handle and modify it to have a metal tab instead. I took some rough measurements of the moka pot slot and then 3D printed a piece that could act like a template. In order to make the metal tab, I found a small piece of aluminum that was roughly the right size, but the thickness wasn't quite correct. I cut to the approximate shape that I needed, then took it to the belt sander and slowly ground away to get the correct fit. I took a second to do a little bit of sanding on the old handle and refine the shape slightly. When I originally made this, I had just used an oscillating saw to cut the rough shape and sanded it the rest of the way. In order to attach the metal tab to the handle, I took it to the mill and cut a small, narrow slot. I had never used a mill before, but with a little bit of guidance, I was able to make something work. Once again, I'm amazed by these tools that I've never had a chance to use before, and I hope to find more reasons to use them in the future. I superglued the tab into the wooden handle, then drilled the hole for the hinge pin. Drilling the hole went about as well as I expected, but it works well enough. Then lots and lots of sanding to get it nice and smooth. I considered polishing the metal parts with a buffing compound, but I couldn't definitively determine if that would be toxic or not. If you know, please mention it below. Recently, I read David Allen's Getting Things Done, where he suggests a framework to organize your tasks and allow you to focus on what needs to be done at any given moment. One of the main steps he recommends is to make a list of all the things you'd like to do and add an associated next action. For little projects like these, I think that's very helpful because it allows you to make some progress anytime you have a free moment. For the projects mentioned here, I was able to achieve many of the setup steps during odd, idle minutes. For instance, I needed a stroboscope disc to test the turntable. So, while waiting on something else, I searched the internet to find one. Or the leather cable ties. I would sketch ideas and keep working on the digital files between commitments. By breaking even these simple projects down into little parts, you're not committing yourself to completing it all at once. The hardest part of doing projects is building the momentum to completing it. If you go into the weekend with many of the steps already done, that's a big step forward. Talk to you next time.